Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name's Steve. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. These videos are all about Porsches and my 992 I currently own and the 718 that I did own beforehand. If you've been watching my other videos, you'll know that I maxed out a 992 Carrera 2 on the web configurator, and you'll see a picture of that on the screen there now. In that video, I was trying to see how far I could actually option out a 992 to get it anywhere near a 992 Turbo base price. Because I owned a 718 Cayman, and I've never actually done this either, I've decided to try and max out a 718 Cayman, just the base model, not the S, and see how far we can get the price up, putting nearly every extra on I can possibly think of to see how far the configurator will let me bump that price. Now, if you're familiar with the Porsche range, if you've owned them or you have looked at them because you maybe going to buy one, you'll know that the 718 is the base car, it's the entry point, it's either a Boxer or a Cayman, and they come in a standard car or an S. And the S has always got a little bit more horsepower, a couple of little bit of extras, slightly bigger brakes, things like that. If you're going to dip your toe in the water with a Porsche, I can expect that going in with a Cayman is probably a good way to go. I did it. It was a good taster. It got me in there. It got me the feel for the car. When you're using them every day and you're just driving them down the road, feel very similar, whether it's a 718 or a 992. Obviously, when it comes to putting a bit more performance in, going on a track, maybe just giving it a little bit of a boot round the back roads on a Sunday afternoon, you'll find that there is definitely a difference there afterwards. But day-to-day driving, 30 mile an hour, start-stop traffic, you could be sitting in either car really when you're inside them. But the Cayman at the moment is still on the previous spec. It was in line with its similar comparisons to the 991 generation of the 911. The 992 now moved on, and at some point in the next 3 or 4 years, I think the 718 will move on to its next generation, and you'll see a host of the interior options from the 992 drop down to that car. So when I've come back to do this little bit of specking out, I've realised that the Cayman has now gone up probably about £2,000-ish on the base price, a little bit more than it was when I was specking my car originally. Some things have changed. They're classing that as a 2021 spec. I don't know, possibly particulate filters, maybe a couple of other bits and pieces. The interesting point about that, if I put the finance example up here now for that car, you'll see that although the price is raised up £2,000, Porsche as a manufacturer are offering a £2,000 discount against the value of the car when it's on the finance. My thought there is that for a little while there on the configurator, you could not option a manual, which was a free choice because that's how the car comes, because the PDK gearbox is actually a £2,000 extra. So the 718 Cayman is the entry-level sports car in the range at the Porsche dealership, and entry-level does cover some parts of that car. In comparison to the 992 entry-level, which is more or less what I spec'd on my car, it does come with a host of features that really a base model standard on that car. With the Cayman, not so much. Maybe they'll revise that on the next generation of the car. And the next generation of the car comes with quite a similar spec to the 992 as an entry level, apart from maybe the engine size. I think it might be a great little car to get in there at an entry point. So we'll spin the pictures of the entry level spec that I've got started on the configurator on the screen there. You can see what it looks like at the start, and then at the end I'll do exactly the same pictures. We'll see what they look like at the end, and you can see all the extras and all the bits that I added on, the different colors, the different seat stitching, etc. that make up that final price. If we put the configurator screen up there to start with, the base price on that car now is £44,790 here in the UK. That is not including road tax or registration, and that does include the VAT. The moment you can see that there's a 0 against that price for equipment. I think if I was getting another Porsche, I would seriously consider that racing yellow. It just, at the time when I bought my car, I thought maybe I wanted to go conservative on that 992, but some of these colours as I've been spec'ing the cars have been growing on me, and I quite like that yellow, so there we go. So as you see, that standard colour there is a free option in the racing yellow. The other colours there at the standard free cost are the Guards red, the black and the white. Gone with the racing yellow, you can see it's got the standard Cayman wheels on there, which are an 18-inch. I've only ever seen maybe one car with the Cayman wheels on. I don't think anybody keeps them. It's a strange design compared to the rest of them. It doesn't really do anything for me. Even though they are 18-inch, they do look small on the car. It's a weird one, but there we go. They're not staggered, by the way, either, like the 992's got staggered front and back. These are 18 front and back. Car comes standard with the manual gearbox, which some people prefer. You've got the 2-litre turbo engine in there, delivering the 300 PS. That's something obviously you can't see from the outside. You've only got the 2-way electric seats in this car, which come with a split Alcantara leatherette finish. Now, you'll notice that a lot of this car has added leather when we come into doing the actual additions on the equipment. This car featured quite a lot of leatherette. It's something I noticed when I owned the car. My car came spec with the leather seats, but the leatherette dashboard, it didn't have the extended leather. It looks good, you can see it looks like leather, but it's leatherette. It's not the full leather dashboard. It comes as an extra cost. Again, the entry level Cayman is so basic it doesn't come with any buttons on the steering wheel. It's an extra. If you're buying that car at a BMW, Audi, Mercedes, even the VW, which is part of the same group now, you get steering wheel controls at that sort of price point. It's a standard thing now, so why they're not there I don't know. I hope they do come out on the next version of this car as a standard thing, because they're just everywhere now. And the last thing that stands on this car that is an entry level point is the 4-piston brakes front and back with the black calipers. Something else that's a little bit strange for a £45,000 entry point is you don't get any sensors front and back. I would have thought maybe rear would have been a standard thing, but no, it's still an optional extra on this car. Hopefully they add them on in the future too. So after going all the way through all of those points, let's get on and see how I spec'd it. I'm not going to run through it as I go. I'll just come up with a final car. I'm going to put the pictures up and I'm going to run through and I'll show you exactly how high I actually managed to get it. Again, if anybody else can spec it higher in a different region, stick it in the comments below. Tell me how high you get. I'd like to know if there's any extras on there that you can't get in the UK that you can't get somewhere else. So as we're running through these pictures here, there is a slight disclaimer from me. I didn't spec this to taste. I spec'd it to see how high I could get the cost. Some of the options on here are a little bit loud. I mean, it is a sports car, but this is the kind of thing I'd probably make up if I was playing Grand Theft Auto rather than in real life. But I can't imagine the retail sale on this second hand would be great if the dealers actually let you go ahead and order it, which I don't see why they couldn't, but they may try to dissuade you. Now that I've made you cringe with all those pictures of how I actually spec the car, I don't know if I could drive down the street in that, but this is the actual final price up there on the screen now. I managed to get the entire car up to £89,889 before road tax and registration. I was desperately trying to get to that 90,000 mark and I just couldn't get there. Some of the options I was taking off was dropping the price to add things on that cost less, and this was as far as I could get. So you can see there that I managed to add on £45,099 worth of equipment. I've added some exclusive accessories on there at the bottom to try and bump the price up, but it doesn't add it to the general base price. So colour I went with was lava orange. I went with Bordeaux red interior because that was the most expensive one. If I picked any of the split ones that are more expensive to start with, you can't add on some of the exclusive extras with stitching and seat backs, etc. You'll notice on the exterior of the car, if I bring the picture back up, that I went with the not most expensive wheels because again you can add paint to them that make them the most expensive. I quite like that 5-spoke design. You'll see inside those wheels there that the ceramic brake option's been added with the yellow calipers on. I've added the sports front and rear bumpers to make the car look better, but they were the most expensive things you can add on there. I've gone with the most expensive lights. I've colour coordinated the vents down the side. I have even, if you can see, and I zoom in there, I went with the high gloss door handle to accent the black on the remaining bits of the car that aren't lava orange. If we go inside the interior there, the floor mats that I added were the most expensive ones possible, which were leather trimmed carbon. To get that the most expensive steering wheel that I could in there, I went with the Race Tech, and it is heated and also has the button controls on there. Around the inserts of the car, you can make them colour coordinated. I started with colour coordinated in lava orange. You can see that there's a little insert there where the temperature control for the car inside is orange. Could have made the whole lot orange, but it was more expensive to bump it up to the carbon. I've put white inserts into all the dials, including the one on the dash. As you can see, I've embossed the seat headrests and I've also embossed the storage compartment in the middle. I've added leather at the back of the seats that you can't see, unfortunately, in these images. Also, you'll see I've included the storage footwell net for free. Gotta add that on, it's free. Then there's other little extras that I've added, things like fuse box covers in leather and stuff like that. If we go around the back of the car, you'll see that to just keep bumping the price up, I've added the rear wiper. I didn't ever feel like I missed a rear wiper on that car, but bump the price up on this, I did add it. So there we go, including all those accessories, I can't get it over the 90,000 mark. So having actually done all of that with the car, got all the prices, added all of it on, I did manage to get the configurator to allow me to do a finance example at the end. So here's the finance example. I bumped the deposit up to the max and I took the mileage down to the lowest and did it over 36 months. You'll see there that there is the Porsche contribution at £2,000. And staggeringly, at the minute, they want £1,214.61 monthly payments on that car. And that's only because the balloon payment on that's up at £32,000. That's not far away from the price that my finance was on my 992. My balloon payment was much higher. It was over the 50, which brought my payments down in the middle. So these finance examples are just there to give you a bit of an education on where you can go. If you went into a dealer and you were speccing a car, you'll be able to find out exactly what you'll be able to get out of it based on really how much they're going to allow you to pay on a monthly basis. Whatever they're going to allow you to pay on a monthly basis, they'll then make you put a certain deposit down to balance it out. So their risk is lower and you're going to be able to pay for the car. As in the 992, I was trying to get that car up to as much of a base price of the turbo as I could. There's a similar point here that if you're going to go crazy specking an entry level Cayman and you're ending up at a price point where you probably could just buy a 718 4 litre GTS at the 60-odd thousand pound mark entry level, you're going to get some of those parts on the car already. You're going to get the bigger engine and it's probably going to be more desirable second hand as a starting point, and you'll end up with a better car for the price point. So again, if you think you can beat that value, get yourself on the configurator, find out what it is, post the Porsche code in the comments below and I'll take a look and see what you managed to get to. And if it's in a different region, I'm interested to see if there's any other extras you can add on that I couldn't. If you enjoyed the video today, if you could please give it a like. If you want to see more about my 992 as I keep doing extra videos, please click that subscribe button and I will see you again in another video. Thank you very much. Bye.